Okay, now.
Okay, Julia, can you hear us? Perfect.
Can you maybe say something, Julia? Like
That's
it's
better
kind of the
mouthful.
timing, you know? You're having-
Yep, I can say something.
So this is. Right.
Yeah. And so just go there, go in this way.
Yeah.
Head of that.
Can't really see it.
Yeah, somebody else joins.
I basically, it's this portion of it, I left on there, so we probably want to put together our. That would be better.
I know, I'll have it.
Okay, well, that sounds
Now I have to answer.
Yeah, that's great. I just didn't.
Give me 5 minutes.
We don't want to be
Respond very quickly.
tonight.
Okay.
Because we just got it, and that's not enough time to do, so we're gonna have no response other than thank you and we get.
Coming in, no, good.
Hey, how are you?
I guess you're starting.
How are
That's not my customer.
Oh.
Thank God. I'm not like sitting down.
Everything better now?
Yeah, because you have to.
My husband, he seconded his stuff. And they come back
It's a good
on,
stuff. He's her free and then-
Yeah, I have it.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's from Kickback. Okay. Carol, let me know when you want to start. Okay. Started, everyone. Welcome.
We get older.
There are-
We get older. We get older.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we changed order. I was doing the acknowledgement first and then she wants to do it. Okay, so I'd like to welcome everybody to the December 2024 Board of Education meeting, and I would like to start the meeting by recognizing with respect the school district's business is being conducted on the traditional territories of the Gitxsan, Haisla, Nisga'a, and Tsimshian people. And we are on their traditional territories and we're honored to work with their children and privileged to live on these lands. We do have some guests from Prince George with Julia, with the Lady Tene area. Other than that, we are ready now to have our new superintendent inaugurate our new.
Wonderful, thank you. So again, we would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone who's joining us this evening for the official oath of office or swearing in ceremony for our new trustee, Angie Maitland. So just some general information for everyone. School board trustees are locally elected representatives of the public, and they are the community's advocate for public education. They're required to carry out their responsibilities in a manner that assists the board in fulfilling its duties under the School Act. Coast Mountain School District is governed by a 7-member Board of Education elected by the public every 4 years. The board sets policies and directions for the operation of the district and its schools. Angie was elected trustee by acclamation for electoral area 1, which is Kitimat, on November 12th, 2024 for Coast Mountain School District 82 in the recent Kitimat trustee by-election for a term ending November 2026. And it's my pleasure to introduce Angie and to extend a warm welcome to the Coast Mountains team. And Angie is also joined by her family today that we would like to also specially welcome and recognize. At this time, the formal oath of office ceremony will be conducted by our Secretary Treasurer, Ginger Fuller. Ginger, I will hand it over to you.
Thanks. The oath of office regulation forms part of the school district, the School Act, where trustees pledge their commitment to their roles and responsibilities. I will be asking our new trustee to repeat the oath, which will be formally signed by the trustee and myself after reading. Yes. So I,
Angie Maitland,
do solemnly affirm that I am qualified to hold the office as a trustee in Coast Mountain School District 82
that I am qualified to hold the office as a trustee in Coast Mountain District 82
and meet the trustee qualification requirements set out in the School Act.
and meet the trustee requirements required set up in this.
I will abide by the School Act and I will faithfully perform the duties of my office
I will abide by the School Act and I will faithfully perform to the duties of my office.
and I will not allow any private interests to influence my conduct in public meetings.
And I will not allow any private interest to influence my conduct in any public matters.
I will comply with the requirements of the School Act that relate to conflict of interest.
I will comply to the requirements of the School Act that relate to the conflict of interest.
And in particular, I will comply with the requirements relating to the disclosure of pecuniary and in pecuniary interests in a matter.
And in particular, I will comply with the requirements relating to disclosure of pecuniary and indirect pecuniary interest in a matter.
And we'll play this. Congratulations. And we did some.
Oh,
There you go.
I need to sign this.
You're taking the picture, or you? Karen's one of us? Yeah. Okay, here, with me, and I did.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to go a little bit more, if that's okay. Boss, is that okay? Yeah, more. We're gonna set our names right in the middle of that, yeah. Okay, there. Those will be the ones for you. Okay,
And to your family.
yes.
Tracy and Margaret, maybe?
Well, this week's gonna be turned over.
Yeah.
One with her family.
Have you got this?
Yes, for sure. Here we go. Yeah.
We will get started. And welcome to our guests. I'll do some introductions in a minute. This is our December 2024 meeting, and we are live streamed on our YouTube channel, but we have been having some technology challenges this last meeting with some new technology here that we're all learning how to use. So if we lose you on the screen, we may have to pause or do something to make sure everybody can be involved. I'd like to, on behalf of the Board of Education, wish everybody a very peaceful, restful, and a holiday season. May you and your loved ones have a joyous holiday season and a happy, healthy new year. We have a number of guests tonight. We have Scott and Jessica, who are our new trustees family, as well as, I believe, Joyce on the screen, just the name. is mother-in-law. So welcome, and we're very pleased to have Angie join us as a trustee. We also have Edwin from the District of Kitimat, who's our rep from the City Council that way. Christine is also a guest, and Bill in the back here joining us tonight. We'll start by introducing ourselves. I'm Margaret Workup. I'm your board chairperson, and I'll let Ed go first.
Ed Harrison, I'm the representative from Paris.
Karen Yonkman, trustee from Kitimat.
Angie Maitland, trustee from Kitimat.
Wayne, do you want to go first? On the screen.
Trustee from Stewart.
Okay, and Julia?
Julia Sundell, Hazelton trustee.
And I'll let our superintendent introduce herself and her team.
Good afternoon, Tracy McMillan, superintendent, and I will ask my team, starting with Julia, to introduce themselves and their roles.
Good afternoon, Julia Nicholas, Director of Instruction and Learning Support.
You can just take mine and just set it on a plate off to the side.
Wayne, oh, there you go.
It's Wayne. Okay, thank you.
That's good, I'm sure it's gonna be a great dinner. Tina McDonald, District Principal of Curriculum Support.
Philip Barron, Director of Instruction, Learning Services. Good evening, nice to see everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ross Chibley, and I'm the Director of Facility Services.
Good evening, I'm Karen Bath, Director of HR.
And good evening, everyone. Ginger Fuller, Secretary Treasurer.
And Carol.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I'm Carol Gagnon, Executive Assistant.
Okay. A couple of just notes to let everybody know before I call the meeting to order. We will have trustee reports towards the end of the meeting, and so I welcome you to celebrate maybe some of the great Christmas concerts we've been able to attend and share that. We will have question period at the end of the regular meeting, which is a 10-minute period, but questions must pertain to the agenda and can be presented in person at the regular board meeting or emailed no later than 4 p.m. on the day of the regular board meeting. When you do have a request or a question to put forward, this comes to the attention of our great assistant, who's always keeping us in order, Carol Gagnon, our executive assistant. Questions or comments about personal issues, individuals, or property acquisitions are not appropriate for the public meeting. A written response to questions to the board will be provided as soon as practicable. So we'll receive the questions and give answers as soon as we possibly can, if we can answer the questions. Questions asked at the regular board meeting are recorded for follow-up by the board, and our team will follow up that way. Our next meeting is going to be a hybrid meeting as this is tonight, and it's scheduled for Tuesday, January 28th at 5 p.m. That's a little bit of a variance from our usual Wednesday night meetings, but we're finding we're conflicting Wednesday nights with travel to provincial meetings and other meetings. So we are looking at our schedule very carefully to make sure we can fit in all of the duties and responsibilities that we have. So there will be that change in January, because then there's a bargaining meeting or a BCPC meeting right afterwards. So we have to do two things at once to make it happen. So I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we do have a quorum. And my first item of business is number 3, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda or any additions? Karen? Ed? All in favor of the agenda? Everybody pass. Thank you. Our minutes that are enclosed are 4.1, the regular meeting of the board, November 19th, 2024. And I require a motion for approving these minutes. Ed? Thank you. Julia? Any questions on the minutes? All in favor? Pass. Thank you. Next is the in-camera meeting of November 19th, 2024. A motion to approve these. Karen? Ed, did you nod too? Okay, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes? And everybody has voted. Thank you. There was no business arising from the minutes to report, but under 7.1, you can see in the correspondence that we have been busy. We did congratulate all of our elected provincial people from our area and sent them letters of congratulations, and not included in here, we did hear back from Claire, who's our trustee for this region, and we will be meeting with her in January. And so she is reaching out to education, but we did have a board chair call with Minister of Education and Childcare, Minister Barr. And I put all the, as you can see in the letter, I put the issues that we're trying to address into the letter and reminded her. Plus, we were very careful in our letter to be descriptive of where we are in the Northwest and the uniqueness of where we are providing public education. And we invited her to come and meet with us, see what we're doing, discuss the issues, etc. And then out of no notice, I also had a call from Minister Ma, who's the Minister of Infrastructure. She actually, I can share, taught me when I was driving grandchildren around, but I was able to put forward with her the issues that we have with Mount Elizabeth, with recruitment and retention, and invited her. And she has also responded to say she's coming at some point. So we've got her attention, and we will be able to do the advocacy that we wish to do for the betterment of our students and our schools. And the Minister of Infrastructure, along with Minister Barr, have and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Bear or Bar? Bear, sorry. As I said it, I thought, you're not getting it right. She used her first name when she called me. So, they have responded back, so they did hear us in the calls, and they are willing to be meeting with us and work with us. So I have these 3 letters in 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3. If I can have a motion to receive them and send back the replies. So moved by Ed, second by Karen. Now, do you have a question, Julia, or can we all approve that these go back and forth? So all done, passed. Superintendent of Schools meeting, a report.
The letter from Minister Blair and Infrastructure and
Sorry, there's one more addition to the agenda that Carol just reminded me of, and I don't know where I put it. We did receive a letter back from Minister Baird and Minister Law. And so I would like a motion to receive this letter so that it's recorded in our minutes. That they both heard us and they're willing to respond. If I could have that motion to receive and place this on file, that would be great. Karen? Yeah. Julia? Perfect. I welcome any questions with it, but I'm feeling quite good about we've got attention. And that's the main thing, is that we need to have our voice as much as we can.
All in favor?
All in favor? Pass. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's okay. No, and it's okay. And actually, I should have put 7.4 as an amendment to the agenda, which I didn't do.
Okay.
So
We also have 9.9 item 9 as an addendum only.
yeah,
to the Indigenous
I have that down. Yeah. Okay, Superintendent of Schools report.
Thank
On
you.
page 27.
So the past couple of months have been very busy. In particular, November was a busy time for report cards in schools and learning assessments that are directly linked to our curriculum initiatives. Particularly assessing student literacy. And this is one of our key goals outlined in the district's strategic plan as well. And I would like to acknowledge and thank our parents and caregivers for attending sometimes multiple sessions of the report card learning sessions, and also to thank you for the work that you do at home in supporting all of our learners, whether that's with homework, reading, nightly reading, and just encouraging and fostering that love of learning. So thank you for that. As well, over the past couple of months, as of last Friday, I have completed my first round of being able to visit every single school in our district. And that included from Stewart to Kitimat and the Hazeltons, and just the quality of learning and the innovative projects, student experiences, partnerships with communities, nations, educational partners has just been very impressive to see and watch in action. Also highlighted on page 29 is the program called the Discovery Trades K-6 program, and this introduces primary and elementary students to the trades through safe, positive, engaging, and inspiring experiences. And this is often through the generous partnership of LNG Canada. So we'd like to thank them for that. And this often leads to seamlessly with the dual credit program that's also made possible as our students move through to high school. So you can see and take a look at some of the photos, and Corey Reddle was part of that. And he's one of the facilitators for this program, and they were at Cassie Hall. And you can see they were working with tools, creating cedar planters, learning about safety. So again, the earlier we can sort of generate that interest for our learners, the better. So wonderful program. As well, last week and this week, I was able to meet with the president as well as other individuals at Coast Mountains College to tour the facility. So we have a number of partnerships with Coast Mountains, and that's led by the work of Dan Hamill, the principal of NTEC. And really interesting that our grade 12 learners, they participate in level 1 foundations trades training. So some of these areas are highlighted as carpentry, welding, automotive, heavy duty mechanics, electrical, and professional cooking. So again, they can do this and also earn high school credits. We have the early childcare education, the ECCE program, and that's co-sponsored by the school district and the college, and that will be launched in February of 2025. And if you haven't had an opportunity to visit the college, I encourage you to do so. Also, throughout the college, and in particular the dorms, the artwork that's created by the students as part of the Frida Deasing School of Northwest Coast Art is spectacular. Just incredible pieces that are, again, throughout the college displayed. And also in the report, you'll notice there's a link to the website and just a reminder for families with the support of additional funding that can be used to help pay for extracurricular activities, boots, jackets, especially with the colder weather. So again, that access is on the site.
Can I just interrupt a little bit and ask Mike to mute his mic? We're getting some echo feedback, Mike. Thank you. Sorry.
No worries. And throughout the remainder of the report, you'll see some photos of our learners, students, staff, volunteers throughout the district. So I and the district education team and a number of our senior staff were able to attend various concerts throughout the region. And again, this could not happen without the dedication of our support staff, our teachers, admin, district staff, and our trustees. They'll tell you more about that. They've also been out to support our learners. So there's still a few more opportunities within the next couple of days. So again, contact your local school and they will have the concert times available for you. And just a bit of professional learning, sharing that we did attend the BCSTA Trustee Academy, as well as the BC School Superintendents Association meetings, and that was for district senior staff. And there is now a new chapter in the BCSSA to represent the Indigenous members. So there is now an Indigenous chapter as the BCSSA. And finally, I would just like to wish everyone a really safe and happy holiday. Please take some time to spend with friends, family, and some downtime. Use this as rejuvenation and enjoy safe holidays. Thank you.
So thank you for your report. Is there any questions for our superintendent, or can I have a motion for the monthly report to the regular board meeting to be received as presented?
I have a number of questions. Is this a regular board meeting or is this prior to the regular board meeting?
Oh, this is the regular board meeting, Mike. I think you missed the beginning.
I see Carol told me that the regular board meeting didn't start till 5:30.
No, at 5 o'clock, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I do have a number of questions. Now,
Okay, go ahead.
page 29 here, it mentions that the Discovery Trades K-9 sessions were at Cassie Hall Elementary School. Are the Thornhill schools on the rotation?
Thank you for the question, and we will check the schedule and we will get back to you.
Okay, I was wondering, this program that's going on there about teaching the children to build things with tools is very similar to what they're doing in Surrey. They have a pairing of a teachers group with a manufacturer of educational toys. And they've paired it to the teaching because the teachers teach the science, for instance, hydraulics or steam or one of the teachers teach the science, and then as a reward, once the students have learned the material, then they get to build a toy which uses the principles that they've been learning in the classroom. So I am considering the classroom package from Mini Makers, it's called, is around the $300 mark, and I'm wondering how many. And I'm thinking about getting this for my schools. Now, I'm wondering how many classrooms are involved in the two Thornhill schools.
I think we'll have to get back to you with that answer, and have a discussion with the superintendent about that.
Thank you.
Any further questions? If not, all in favor of receiving the report?
I am in favor.
Okay, and Wayne, I can't see you anymore.
I'm in favor as well. My camera doesn't seem to be working.
All righty, we'll just ask you and go from there. So thank you for your report. And next is the Indigenous education report, of which there is an addenda with some data that was very interesting to read and walk through, that came in right towards the end. So with this report, it was written by our interim superintendent, Janet Myers. I don't know whether our superintendent wants to highlight a couple of things, and then we will have a motion to receive the reports.
Yes, I'm able to highlight.
Perfect, all yours.
So on page 35, it's talking about the First Nations Education Steering Committee Conference. So that was held in Vancouver last week. And the various sessions look at transformative ways to change education for First Nations education. And the conference theme this year was connecting to our land. So again, there were a number of sessions pertaining to that. And every year there's approximately 750 people who attend those sessions. This year, we were very fortunate to have 3 of our team members be able to attend the conference. On page 36, you'll notice that meetings were held on the 28th for the Indigenous Support Workers, so ISWs, and 31 were in attendance, and that was, again, a combination of virtual and in person. And there was a number of information items that were shared during the meetings, such as one of the key updates being that the Director of Instruction for Indigenous Education position was not filled. So within the coming months, we will be collaborating with ITEC to figure out how this will be addressed and to staff that position or those similar type positions for the Indigenous Education Department. As well, Beverly Azak, our district vice principal, she held a session on EdPlan Insights. And in essence, this is a data platform where things such as student attendance patterns, tracking of parental interactions, the work and interactions with the ISWs are logged and summaries are provided. As well, we had our district principal, Tina McDonald. She presented and shared literacy interventions and early interventions that could be used for supports. And that was very successful. We received requests afterwards for the use of those materials to be going out into schools. As well, we had Dan Hamill, again, the NTEC principal. He shared more information about the hands-on activities involving students from K to 12. Also highlighted is the Hazelton Secondary Back to the Land program. And there are a number of skills from communicating in outdoor settings, journaling, moose calling, tracking, navigation, wilderness safety, food handling, a number of skills that are participated in and learned and talked about and actioned on the land. So a lot of these programs as well for all students, they sort of build a sense of resiliency, teamwork, and cultural pride. Would you like me to continue to the second addendum?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the second portion is the Indigenous student enrollment and demographics. So we have provided some new information and clarified information. So we will continue to use this template periodically throughout the year to provide updates. So just important to note, it provides the number of Indigenous learners spread across our 18 schools. And worth noting, this does not include the Northwest Trades and Employment Training Center because they're registered at their respective schools. As well, the student population in paragraph 2 talks about the numbers in each of our school district communities. And the third paragraph, really important to note. So this data presented in the next couple of pages is as of December 2024, but the district is allocated enhanced targeted funding for 1,923 Indigenous students. And this is based on the September 2024 Ministry of Education and Chapter 1701 report. So I won't go through each school. I'll let you peruse that on your own, but I will provide one example. So for example, looking at Hazelton Secondary, it will provide the number of students, status on reserve, for example, 285, and the percentage, status off reserve, non-status, Métis, non-Indigenous, and the total of all of the entire student population of the school. So now you're able to compare the numbers. So a total of 372 students for Hazelton Secondary. And then you can see the breakdowns of on reserve, off reserve, non-status, etc. And on the last page of that addendum, you'll also find the definitions for total students, on reserve, off reserve, non-status, Métis, and E. So hopefully that will be helpful when you peruse the enrollment and demographics. Thank you.
Thank you for the report and outlining highlights of the report. Any direct questions that we need to receive, or can we receive this for information? Mike, I believe you have your hand up. Mike, you're not muted. There we go.
I do have some questions. Now, it says on page 35 there in the first paragraph, it says secured 3 seats this year. What does that mean? Was there a lottery? Did you have to make an application for 3 seats, or is that simply the number that you purchased?
Yeah, if Ginger can answer. If not, we'll have to get back to you. Go ahead, Ginger.
So basically, happened, Mike, in this situation is this conference sold out within about 5 minutes. And we were able to, in that 5 minutes, secure 3 seats. And after the 5 minutes was over, there was no more seats to be had.
Well done. Well done. Okay, now on page 36, ambience is mentioned again in the context of tracking student progress. Now, ambience comes out of the University of Florida, and it includes much more. It is a complete learning system and includes a lot more than tracking progress. Now, my understanding is that Pacific Natural Gas, or not PNG, but I don't know what it is. The natural gas is donating money that makes it possible for our district to have this ambience. Was it ambience? What was it called? Acadians. Makes it possible for us to have it. So what I'm wondering is, do the natural gas people ask for progress reports regarding the usage of the program and the outcomes?
So for every contribution agreement that is signed, yes, there are stipulations in there that we have to report back. And Ginger, I'll defer to you if there's any additional information. In general.
There, for each different contract, we have them, there's different deliverables in each of the contracts. For Student and Family Affordability Fund, when they gave us money for that, they are looking for information back on that and the number of students we were able to support and what kind of supports were we able to give them. So each of the contracts have something different for deliverables. And I'm not off the top of my head 100% sure what the deliverables for the literacy strategy. And I'd like to clarify that Acadians is a literacy strategy. The Insight program is the program that we use for tracking data.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to page 37. I've noticed it was minus 19 in Hazelton when they did this camping trip. And I believe I've got it correct. There's 11 people total that went, including 4 guides. So that would have been 7 students. Is that correct?
I believe so from what's written there, but I don't know. We can refer that question we can double check and let you know.
Okay, so are these all males?
I don't know. I didn't read it that way, but.
Okay. And also I'm wondering now the age range, are these all of the students, like do they attend by application? Is this all of the students who wanted to go, or is this a limited number?
Okay. So what we can do, Mike, is get back to you with more information, because we really need the questions to ask about, is there anything that the board should be responding to? Or is there any accountabilities that we know? So this is, you're asking for more information and I'll refer it to the staff to be able to give that to you, but not at the board meeting right now. Any further questions?
And I'd just like to add a well done to the folks that put that event on.
Oh, thank you. So we have a motion. I propose that we have a motion to receive this for information, including the addenda that was given to us at the last minute. And we appreciate all the work that's been done to give us these reports. And so moved, received. Aaron's nodding, second. All in favor? Passed. I see his microphone back. Okay. So thank you, and we will move on to the business committee, and I transfer it over to Ed.
Thank you. The minutes of the business committee meeting December the 10th, 2024. The minutes are attached on page 40. The recommendation is minutes of the business committee meeting held December the 10th, 2024 be received for information.
A seconder, please. Karen. Any questions to the business committee on the minutes? Mike, you're echoing to us again if you don't turn your mic off.
Okay, I have questions about the financials. No, that's the next item on the agenda. Okay, I'll mute for now. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor of receipt of the minutes of the business committee? Passed. Thank you. Next is the statement of financial information on pages 42 to 99. And Ed, go ahead.
Okay, the background on the statement of financial information is as follows. For consistency with the Budget Transparency and Accountability Act respecting public accounts reporting, a statement of financial information, SOFI, must be submitted by each school district within 6 months following the corporation's fiscal year end. School districts are defined as corporations as outlined in the Financial Information Act. Reference the attached 2023-24 Statement of Financial Information report for Coast Mountain School District 82. The 2023-24 Statement of Financial Information report was presented at the Business Committee meeting held December the 10th, 2024. It is being forwarded to the board with recommendation for approval. The motion, the recommended action is that the board approve the school district's financial information, the SOFI report for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2024.
A seconder for the motion. Julia, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I got lots.
Okay, go ahead. We'll see. Yeah, how we do. Go ahead.
I'm wondering about the overlap between Janet Meyer's wages and our new superintendent's wages. How much have we over?
That's a personnel question that would have to come in camera, and I don't believe we should be answering it now.
And to clarify for you, Trustee Maxim, these are the 23-24 financial statements to the end of June. They are the same statements that we have reviewed in September. They are just required to be resent with the statement of financial information. The new information of this report technically really starts on page 86.
Okay, new information starts on 86. Now, our business year is from September 1st to September 1st. Is that correct?
No, our business year is July 1st to June 30th.
I see. So June 30th of 2024 is the end date of that statement then?
It is.
Okay. So now, I was censured on November the 2nd of 2023. Now, that's outside of the range of this statement, is it not?
No, it's inside of the range of the statement.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, there's a on page 90,
Mhm.
it's got me down for $1,800 worth of $1,800 worth of expenses,
Okay,
and I don't believe that.
all right.
Because the November meeting of the BCSTA, I paid for myself.
So Mr. Maxim, I would suggest that we take that question offline. I don't have the backup in front of me as to what the $1,800 pertains to. It can pertain to a number of things such as travel, but there's also different membership fees that need to be paid. I would have to look at you specifically, and this document is downstairs and it's quite a large file because it encompasses quite a few people within our district. So I wouldn't be able to answer that directly for you today.
Well, that's quite a large sum of money. In the previous statement that my expenses for the entire year, which did include travel expenses and did include 2 BCSTA meetings, was $4,000. And now you're saying that in the next statement date that I got $1,900, and I absolutely paid for the November one, and the May one would have been in the previous statement date.
So Mike, if there's a question in terms of the accuracy of the report, and Ginger has said that she will respond to you, I look to the mover of the motion and just say that we approve the statement. If there is an error, it comes back to us in terms of a correction.
Opposed?
Let's accept.
Seconder was Julia. Are you comfortable with that? And then let the staff do their job with Mike. And then if there's a problem, we can still move forward with approving this report and getting it used.
Yep, that's fair.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not in favor.
Oh, not in favor? Do you want it recorded, Mike?
Absolutely.
Okay, Mike, you just need to know that your hand is electronically up at the moment.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I registered yeah, I understand.
Okay, and I believe, Ed, you've finished your business committee reports, and we now move to the education committee with Karen on page 100.
Thank you. So 10.2, what I have here is the minutes of the education committee meeting. You can find those on pages 100 to 109. The recommended action is that the minutes of the education committee meeting held December 11th, 2024 be received for information.
So moved by Karen, a seconder, please. Any questions?
I'm trying to find my page here. I've lost.
I'll give you a moment.
Yes, thank you. Oh, can you tell me what page I should be looking for?
Page
Oh,
100.
Here we go. Okay. Pages are stuck together. I'm sorry. Okay, so page number 107. Let's see. I don't think that I have my questions in order. But page number 107 here. What is this? Oh, page number 107 is now I'd like to, as chairperson, I'd like you to answer me and tell me, what is synthetic data?
No, you're asking somebody who's not a technologist. I know what AI is from the workshops that we've had. And I certainly have played with it, but I can't answer you that question. I can get you an answer at some point if you wish.
And the other was federated learning. What is that?
I will get that back to you as well.
Okay, let's see. Now,
Yeah.
okay, let's go to 103 then.
Learning
The next one.
and federated learning.
Now,
So if
there's,
these are questions of understanding the AI, we'll be having more training and information on it. I need questions that relate to board business, and not the learnings part. So what is
it
it
says,
related to the minutes? Yeah, go ahead.
it has 3 questions in here, and I would like to put my opinion on the answers to these 3 questions that were submitted to members of the committee. The first question that I would like to input my opinion is how can we, the draft is right in the way, create a more collaborative environment between schools and the community to address
Mike,
the
these
unique
are
challenges
minutes. I'm going to interrupt you, Mike. These are minutes of what was discussed at the meeting and that we're approving what was recorded then. If you wish to have more discussion on the questions and on AI, etc., we'll set up an opportunity for you to have some learnings, but it's not relevant for this meeting to be reviewing each of these questions.
Okay, let's
Excuse me, Mike, it's Ginger speaking. I just want to bring it to your attention that this is part of a presentation that was made to
Yeah.
the committee. And so the person that did the presentation isn't here to answer your questions. So it'd probably be best if you put your questions in writing and send them to Carol, and then we could forward those on. People that were in that meeting were just part of the discussion, and they probably don't have the technical knowledge in order to answer your questions.
I would have thought that they would have asked pertinent questions to find out the answers to these things.
So we're requesting that you put these into writing and we can try and get you those answers, because we need to have you asking questions that are relevant to what is a board issue to decide on. So we have a motion from Karen and Julia. Do we approve receipt of the minutes for information? All in favor? Pass. And I don't know what you're doing, Mike. Are you passing the minutes being received or?
Thinking about it. I'm looking for the reactions button here. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, pass. Thank you. So we can now move on. Thank you, Karen, for yours. We have on page 110, what happens for a little bit of background. This is for discussion. The board chair determines on whose committees, but I try to hear from people as to what they wish to do. And we have put a proposal forward in terms of the 2 standing committees of the board. One is the education committee and one is the business committee. And Angie, I put you on the business committee, but didn't get a chance to talk with you, although I loved your pictures of holidays and things, and you deserve the holidays. So if you would take those, and if we could continue with trustee Karen Yonkman as committee chair for education, trustee Wayne Jones and Julia Sundell on education, and on the business committee, trustee Ed Harrison, our new trustee Angie, and myself as ex officios. I would like to move forward with those as the standing committee members for the rest of this year. Unless somebody really jumps up and says, no, I want.
Got all kinds of things to say about this.
Well, Mike, you're right. You're right now sanctioned from these committees, so I can't appoint you.
I don't care about that.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead.
I would like to say, I'd like to say you got a number of things in here that I find extremely offensive. Now it says the board chair appoints trustee members. Now, where the hell do you get the power to go ahead and do that without any input from the trustees?
I actually did get input from most of the trustees, your sanctions, so I didn't select input from you. I did miss some to directly speak to, but that's why I put it here as discussion right now. And so I hear what you said, but I'm not going to respond that way. I'm going to move forward. And I want
to have more questions.
Yeah, trustee liaison. Sorry, Mike, I'm moving forward. I'm going to move forward with the regards to trustee liaisons.
We're not calling for a vote until I'm finished with my questions.
Go ahead and I'll see if your question is relevant. Go ahead.
Now, I find that says trustees must sign. Trustees must sign, it says. Now, that makes it a coerced signature. A coerced signature is not legally binding. And it is to be kind, it is coercion. At worst, and a less polite word would be bullying. Now,
okay, Mike, I'm not going to accept.
Regarding the established protocol of being invited to the school.
Mike, I'm not going to accept this conversation. We're going to mute you. This isn't the time for this type of conversation. So you've been muted. Sorry. Well, not sorry. We need to move on. The school liaison positions, it's under great discussion throughout the province in terms of how does it work? What is the best role? We met as a board and developed the protocol for what happens in our district about 2 years ago now. And I'm proposing we continue to use that protocol. And I'm going to share how the importance of it is to phone a school before you go or be invited. I tried to go to a Christmas concert yesterday, all full intention of going at 9 o'clock, called the school to make sure it was still okay. And because of the absenteeism, they asked me if I could come about 10:30 so that I wasn't interrupting, covering and looking after the children and the students. So it reinforced to me how important it is to give notice as much as possible to the schools. But also in reviewing what other board chairs are doing, many districts do not appoint a specific liaison to a school. So I am suggesting that Ed and I take on the terrace schools and we go when we can and do what we can. Angie and Karen take on the Kitimat schools, and Wayne, you don't have any choice up there. You're steward with doing the liaisons. I believe that worked really well with Karen and Sunny previously, because we're all busy people and we want to visit the schools as much as possible and be available, but sometimes we have to share the workload to have it done. At this point right now, trustee Julia is not being appointed as a liaison person, and unless she wishes to change and sign our protocol agreement. And trustee Maximin is ineligible because he's currently censured. For Hazelton and Kitwanga, we need to work it out in terms of visit as much as we can. That way, I was able to visit the high school in Hazelton when I go through, and we will work with the schools to try and cover those schools. So I open it for any discussion, but this is what I'm proposing, unless people object. Be okay there? Any comments, thoughts? Everybody happy with moving forward that way?
I still don't agree with the trustee agreement, Margaret. I've stated that since the beginning. I find it very limiting, and I also find it not conducive to building relationships with schools. So I'm still not going to sign it.
Okay, we'll record that and we'll carry on as we are, unless there's other board members that want to lead into the discussion. Go ahead.
Can I just ask why? She did, like, why she doesn't agree with that?
Yeah, let's do it in camera in terms of not.
Thank you.
Yeah. But basically we have a protocol agreement and she has agreed not to, has chosen not to sign it. So anything else other than that? This was discussion. And we move to the board chair report, of which you received there. As you can see, we're welcoming our new superintendent. We're saying goodbye to our interim superintendent, Janet, and we express great appreciation for all the help that she has done for our school district. I tried to do something celebrating with her to thank her, but she absolutely refuses. We've just thanked her personally as much as we possibly can. We did have the academy that we all attended, and we're all thinking about AI and learning where that is going, and really where AI is going to affect schools and students and educators and teachers and ourselves. The whole ethics area is going to be lots of discussion in the next little while or next few years. And then, as presented earlier in the meeting, we've done letters to Minister Baird and Mr. Ma, and I've had conversations with them, and I'm looking for board support to continue to do the advocacy that we can do to maybe make some changes that we need or get the supports that we need. And lastly, I would like to really express a great appreciation to the staff who really support with our community partners to provide needs for children, our students in our schools. And what made me think about this, and I recognize that I have a bit of a bias because I've been working on the Starfish Pact for quite a while, was just sharing with you that, 1,848 Starfish Pacts going out in 11 school districts. It's a lot of children that have needs. And we're doing just over 100, well, we're doing 144 just here in Terrace. And I know in the past, our new trustee Angie has been doing lots in her community as well. So I just wanted to say that on behalf of the board, I appreciate the work staff do to have the food security for our students as much as possible, but it is also a provincial society issue that I think needs to continue to be addressed. So I submit my report for receipt of information and welcome any questions. Okay, we got it. Yeah, Mike, you still have your hand up. Did you have a question for me that's relevant to my report? Not hearing anything. The report is.
I was muted.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
In your letter, you acknowledge that trustees attended the BCSTA Academy while omitting to mention the trustees that attended by name. Do you recognize that I attended?
Well, I know you were, and I actually appreciate that you sat with us some of the time, and that we were able to have some dialogue so that we can learn and move forward together to do our role. I didn't think to put everybody's name down, to be honest.
Do you recognize that I paid my own way?
Yeah, that's a personal thing, so I'm not really want to enter into a discussion that way.
It's a yes or no question. Do you recognize that I paid my own way?
I recognize you do, but I don't feel it's relevant to put in my report.
Okay.
So now, I'm going to move on to trustee reports, please.
I have more comments.
If you have a question, we'll accept a question.
Well, you say in your report, you said that Secretary Treasurer Fuller attended, but I didn't see her there.
That's not relevant as a question.
It is.
Next question.
I'm done.
Trustee, yeah.
Mike, I actually was there and I had a conversation with you regarding the little suitcase you were carrying around and tried to offer you some assistance at that meeting. I was there for the entire 3 days.
Thank you very much. My memory was bad.
Okay, I'm going to move on to trustee reports and look to my right and start with trustee Ed.
Thank you, Chair. I had the pleasure of attending the Julie Blonde presentation at Caledonia School. That was an eye opener. It was lots of fun and lots of work. And kudos to the leads who did a marvelous job. I also attended the two elementary school concerts this week, and they too required a lot of work on the part of the teachers And it's great to see the parents out of the schools supporting their kids.
Excellent. We'll see you.
Yes, thank you. I had the pleasure of attending, the men's was the night before Christmas. Always nice to attend that one, just, really nice. I also, attended the Kildala, Christmas family craft night. That was so much fun. It was really well attended, lots of parents and little kids and all doing the crafts. It was really nice, really good turnout, a real sense of community. And Elf is being performed at NEMS as well. I believe there's 2 more performances coming up. Yeah, so I plan on attending one of those. Thank you.
Excellent. Just quickly, as addition to my report, I also attended Legally Blonde, and it was an awesome show. The students were amazing. So, Trustee Wayne, I know you have to go. Do you want to share something first?
Yes, I'd love to. I have the great privilege up here in Stewart of having a rather more than close relationship with some of the teachers and the staff. My spouse, of course, is a teacher there of 35 years. I'm attending a concert tonight that's being done by the children of the school, and I built the stage that they're going to perform on. So I have to be there in case there's an accident. Anyway, enjoy everything. Everything is always just the very best of quality. And their attention to detail with regards to the care and consideration of the children is, I'm not going to say second to none, because I'm only a very biased opinion on what they do up here. So I just want to say that I appreciate everything that they do in this particular.
Good. And Trustee Julia, anything to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the hit that the Hazeltons took this past week. They were hit hard with the passing of Teresa Jack, who passed tragically in an MVA last week near Cedarvale. She's not only a school district employee at Magic Lake Galiacs, but she was also a pillar within the community. She was always out supporting sports and heavily involved in the community and worked tirelessly as a Gittimax council member. There's not a person in the community that wasn't touched by Teresa Jack, and I know she's going to be deeply missed by all. So my thoughts are with the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Mike, anything to add as a trustee report?
Yes, I already touched on contacting the group called Mini Makers. But I also have worked on basically a phone book for all BC trustees. I have started communications with Surrey trustees. That was included in the Mini Makers thing. Now, there were 13 seminars at the BCSTA, and I attended all of them. I noticed that the rest of the group of you left early and missed a few. Let me see if I've got some more here. Oh, I had a nice chat with Gordon Lee when the crowd thinned. He was under the impression that our board had mended our differences. I told him that you were only interested in the illusion of harmony. He was quite surprised that you haven't lifted any of your sanctions. And that's my report.
If you wish to speak about the sanctions, you can request an in-camera meeting with the board and the sanctions. We don't discuss that at this meeting. Okay, we're ready to move on to our new trustee. Have anything to share, or shall we move on to
I have
question
a
period?
huge list of things I've accomplished. I want to say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom. I see her on there. Nope, I'm just thank you for the warm welcome. I appreciate it. I feel very welcomed. I also will be going to ELF. I'm really excited about that. I've heard it was really great last weekend. So yeah, and I look forward to having a full report next meeting.
Excellent, thank you. So we can move on to question period. We have received one written question. And it's in regards to Mount Elizabeth and what's happening that way. And we're referring that to our Mr. Shibley, and a written response will come back with that. We're not able to answer those questions at this time. And is there any other questions people wish to put forward?
Oh, yeah, hang on. Questions?
We're in question period with this
Yes,
usually where
yeah,
the public or
questions.
ask this question.
I
So
did. I did.
it's been relevant to
Yeah.
board business.
Well, we have a brand new trustee. So
Yeah.
do you think that a new trustee should receive training?
Yes.
That's an orientation question that we will be doing. We have a plan for it. Yes.
Just wondering about your opinion.
Yep.
Do you think that a trustee who doesn't understand their role should receive training?
Well, yes, and we've offered training for yourself as well. So we're willing to do the trainings. Yes.
I've got a screen here. Okay. The other thing is, do you recall in the November 2023 BCSTA, one of the presenters made the statement that discipline should be instructive and not punitive?
You know, Mike, what you're doing is raising issues because of your sanctions. If you wish to discuss that with us sanctioning you, I can offer, as we did when the complaints came forward and we were addressed, that you can meet and explain your rationales.
It was a yes or no question.
Not willing to answer it at this point.
Do
I'm
you
telling you.
recall? Do you remember?
I
Do
remember.
you remember?
But this would have to come up as a question if you request to meet with us as the board about your sanction, and we do that in camera. We don't do it in the public meeting. So I'm going to move on. Anything from the audience back here? No, I would then, unless there's comments, have a motion. Oh, you want to ask a question? Oh. Okay, I'll have a motion for adjournment, please. Wayne, thank you. Julia, thank you. We're adjourned. Everybody have a great holiday season, and thank you. Take care.
Mark.
Margaret. Yes. Yeah.
Could I ask that if the recording of this proceeding has been done, that Mr. Maxim's last few words be noted? His use of expletives is unacceptable.
Okay, we will note it. Yes,
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Wayne. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Take care.
Christmas.
Everybody.
Bye, Angie's mom.
Bye, Mom. Oh, is it?
Margaret, you're sweet. I'm just gonna say. Okay, we're still recording.